Planet Dolan.
From drawing nude sketches to stalking a customer, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the craziest things our bosses asked us to do. I'm Doopy, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by MaddDog197X. For his first job, Pringle washed dishes in a busy restaurant. His boss was kind of crazy. She hated wasting food and would always complain when customers had any leftovers on their plates when they finished eating. Instead of scraping the leftovers into the bin, she would ask Pringle to finish whatever was left. At first, Pringle ate everything without hesitation, so his co-workers nicknamed him the garbage disposal. But when it kept happening every shift, Pringle realized he was starting to get fat. His boss wouldn't let him say no, so Pringle kept stuffing himself with other people's food every single night. In the end, he quit because he couldn't handle the constant stomach aches from overeating. Number 9 was submitted by Moose Muffin. A few years ago, Honeybits worked at a very quiet bookstore. Since they didn't get much business, Honeybits' boss gave her lots of cleaning tasks to fill the time. One day, they ran out of things to clean, so Honeybits started doing little sketches on scrap paper and handing them out to customers. When her boss found out, Honeybits thought she was going to get in trouble, but instead, her boss praised her talent and asked if she'd draw her Dean Winchester from the show Supernatural. Her boss said, "I've always wanted to lay him out on a bearskin rug and have my way with him." Then she asked Honeybits to draw that exact thing. Honeybits said she was very uncomfortable drawing that, but her boss said, "Do it or you're fired." It was the weirdest day of work Honeybits has ever had. Number 8 was submitted by Weird Artist Girl. Sidious worked at a diner. One time, he just started his shift when his boss came in with a strange request. He told Sidious to take all the money out of the register and hand it to an attractive customer who was sitting in a booth by herself. When Sidious refused to do this, his boss threw a fit. He grabbed Sidious by the arm, pointed at the girl, and screamed, "Give her the money!" The girl was very scared and confused by this, so she got up and left. It turned out Sidious's boss was just really drunk. He didn't even know the girl, but he figured he could make her fall in love with him if he gave her all the diner's money. That was enough to make Sidious look for a new job. Number 7 was submitted by LilyPad92. Melissa used to work as a receptionist. When she wasn't filing and answering phones, her boss made her run little errands for him. Most of these were normal things like grabbing lunch and going on coffee runs, but sometimes he made her do things that were definitely not work-related. Like one time, Melissa had to go out and buy flowers for his wife because he'd forgotten their anniversary. He also made her buy scratchies, lottery tickets, and even a big pack of condoms. But the craziest thing he asked Melissa to do was buy weed for him. He arranged it with some shady dealer and asked Melissa to go over and pick it up. When she said no way, he got really mad and shouted at her. That's when Melissa decided it was time to quit. Number 6 was submitted by DensetsuNoSugoi. When the business where Nixium works started losing clients, Nixium's boss asked him to do something outrageous. He told him to get in his car and spend the whole day stalking a former client so they could find out where they were taking their business. So Nixium spent that whole day spying on some short, fat businessman from the seat of his car. And because he's a model employee, Nixium even went the extra mile and cyberstalked the client on Facebook. They never found out where the client took his business, but at least Nixium got to roleplay being a private investigator. Number 5 was submitted by NotJody. Civil Spider is a computer programmer with a very demanding boss. One morning, his boss told him to drop everything he was doing and go pick up his family from the airport. He said he couldn't go himself because he was needed back in the office. Civil Spider suggested getting them a taxi, but his boss laughed in his face. So, Civil Spider drove all the way to the airport in the tiny computer repair van. The shitty thing was, he only gave Civil Spider 20 minutes notice to do this, but the airport was a whole hour away. Civil Spider drove as fast as he could because his boss said there'd be consequences if his family had to wait too long. Number 4 was submitted by TheDarkDrifter. Gergak used to work in retail. One day, the store was completely dead with not a single customer coming in for over 4 hours. Since there wasn't much to do, the boss asked Gergak to go outside and wash his car. Gergak thought it was kind of weird, but he went along with it just to get outside for a while. By the time Gergak finished, the store was still dead, so his boss made him wash 2 of his co-workers' cars. He even called up the regional manager and asked if he wanted to come by to get a free car wash, courtesy of Gergak. In the end, some customers finally came in. Gergak was really relieved. He was worried he'd have to wash every car in the car park. Number 3 was submitted by marlaottine. Last summer, Zaraganba got a job as a lifeguard at a public pool. One day, while he was supervising the pool, his boss came to him and said, "Hey, if you go and kick that kid into the pool, I'll double your salary." At the time, Zaraganba was desperate for money, so he went over and kicked the kid. The only problem was, the kid didn't actually fall into the pool. And when he turned around, Zaraganba realized the kid was actually really jacked. He was so mad about being kicked that he kneed Zaraganba in the head, knocking him unconscious. When he woke up, he was in the hospital. The worst part was, his boss didn't even double his salary. Number 2 was submitted by EntireAnt. One whole big EntireAnt. Hellbent's manager was extremely homophobic. One day, he called Hellbent into the back office. He handed Hellbent some cash and asked if he would take the boss's daughter out on a date. He was worried she might be a lesbian, so he asked Hellbent if he would do him the favor of fucking her. Hellbent took the money and went on the date. But as soon as he met the boss's daughter, he told her everything her scummy dad was up to. He said he had no intention of fucking her to make her straight, but they could still hang out for the night and enjoy a free dinner and a movie, courtesy of her homophobic dad. Number 1 was submitted by me. Hi. If you're eating something, I would recommend putting it down for this story because it's kind of gross. So I wanted to be a dog groomer at one point in my life, and I got a job being a dog bather. The only thing I didn't know was that when you are a dog bather, you have to express the anal glands of the dogs. And a lot of people don't know what that is, and the best way I can explain it to you is dogs have glands in their anuses that hold anal fluid, which is basically just fecal matter soup. Little dogs in particular have trouble expressing these glands by themselves, while bigger dogs tend to do so when they go to the bathroom. So as a groomer, when you're washing dogs, you have to put your hands down there and squeeze it out of the smaller dogs who can't do it by themselves. And for a while, I used gloves until we ran out, and my boss threw a fit because we were going through gloves way too fast. And so I had to do the unthinkable. I had to do it with my bare hands. And I did it every day with my bare hands for 2 years. It was gross, but my boss made me do it, and that was a part of the job, and I did it, and I don't plan on ever doing it again. Especially because sometimes you can't aim where it goes. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the most difficult decision you've ever had to make? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below and you might be featured in a future countdown.
Check out the latest Dolan card update, Nixianville, a new character, heaps of new skins, a new power up, new level, daily missions and offline mode. Download from the Android or iOS App Store and start racing today for free.
Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.